A very strange and chatty boy. It was as if I could finally receive the secrets of existence.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the pilot episode of the brand new Interview with the Vampire TV show that has just started a few weeks ago, I believe. It's from the same people that made Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Well, it's not really. It's not Vince Gilligan and what have you, but some of the people behind that show are involved in this show, I would presume. And it stars Jacob Anderson as Louis, and you may recognise him from Game of Thrones. He played Grey Worm on Game of Thrones. We have Sam Reed as Lestat and Eric Bogerson as Daniel Malloy, essentially the interviewer, the part that was played by Christian Slater in the movie. Right. Okay, now what do we get in this pilot episode? Well, the first thing to say is this is obviously based on the Anne Rice, the famous Anne Rice books. This first episode essentially focuses on setting up Louis's life, and it is set in 1910, this one, so I don't know if that's the setting it was set in the book, but it's not. It's set later than the movie, put it that way. I think the movie was set, I don't know, about 30, 40, 50 years prior to this one. So anyway, it's set in 1910. Louis essentially is a pimp, and you know, is not a wallflower. He even pulls a knife on his own brother who's preaching at him, and that gets the attention of Lestat, who essentially starts obsessing over Louis. They become close friends. Eventually they become more than friends, they become lovers, and essentially Lestat is stalking him, setting him up for the hunt, and he wants a companion, and Louis, he wants him to be his companion. And that's what this first episode is. It's the setup. It's introducing Louis. It's introducing Lestat, introducing Louis's family, the setting, the building of the relationship between Louis and Lestat, and ultimately, at the end of the episode, Lestat bestowing on him his dark gift, so to speak. So I think it's over an hour, the first episode. It's quite a long episode. Where do I start with this one? I actually thought this was a fairly competent pilot episode. I thought it was absolutely beautifully shot. I mean, really beautifully shot. The costumes, the sets, everything were fantastic. I thought the casting was actually very good. I know there's going to be probably some controversy in the casting of Jacob Anderson as Louis. I actually thought it was fabulous casting. The changes they made there, I thought work. The casting of Lestat, Sam Reed, I thought was very good. I thought Lestat was very charismatic and sinister and all this kind of stuff. So I thought that chemistry worked, and that part of the casting worked. Another thing that was different to the movie, and there's going to be a lot of that, because I'll be honest, I haven't read the Anne Rice books. I can't compare it to that. I can only really compare it to the movie. But in this show, the interviewer, Daniel Malloy, played by Eric Bogerson, or Bogersian, whatever you want to call it, I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. He actually interviewed Louis 40 years previously, I think it was. And then Louis gets in touch with him now in modern times in 2022 and asks him to finish the interview and do it properly, because when they did it 40 years previously, neither of them were ready for that interview. So he agrees, Daniel Malloy, to interview him again. He's a much wiser, streetwise journalist, and he won't put up with any crap sort of thing, and he sets his own rules and guidelines as to how the interview is going to go, which Louis agrees to. So essentially that's how the interview is set up. And again, I don't know if that's how it was in the novel. That's how it is in the TV show. Whereas in the movie, we just see Christian Slater as a young journalist meeting Louis, and then he gets his story, and that's it. They don't meet again 40 years later. At least I don't think they do. Certainly not in the movie anyway. So there are changes here. One thing I will say about this show is quite sexual. Lots of that going on in this show. It is quite. I mean, the movie was quite sexual, but this is it ramps it up big time. It depends if you're a person that gets triggered a lot by sexual scenes, same-sex sexual scenes as well. There's lots of gay sex scenes in this. Well, not lots, but there's some of it, and I wasn't sure as well whether that was true to the book. And I researched that. I had a look at that because I thought, well, that's a big change of me. Because in the movie, Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise aren't lovers; they're just companions. Whereas here in this, they are essentially lovers and companions. And when I researched it, that was actually very accurate in the book as well. That's exactly how they were. They were lovers and companions, even though they were constantly at loggerheads as well. So it is accurate in that sense as well. In some aspects, I think it's quite accurate to the book. In other aspects, I'm not sure how accurate it is to the book. Does it really bother me or matter? And not necessarily. I think this was a competent first pilot episode. Has it intrigued me to watch more? I'm not sure. I don't think it's top quality, high quality stuff. It's not really massively engaging. It's quite slow paced. But it picks up near the end. So it does kind of pique your interest for more. So I may try and watch some more and maybe get the series watched and give you a review of it. If I get a chance, then get round to it. But yeah, Interview with the Vampire. I wasn't even sure this thing existed. I didn't even know it was happening until fairly recently. And then it was thrust onto the world, and I thought I'd give it a go because I'm such a fan of the movie. So yeah, let me know, guys, what you think in the comments of this show. It doesn't seem to be getting particularly positive reviews. Doesn't really surprise me. It's only got like a 6.6 on IMDb. I think it's probably slightly better than that, but saying that, I've only given it a 7, haven't I? But yeah, intrigued maybe to check out more. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review. I'll be back with loads more content on the channel very, very soon.